Thank you for listening to the Digit AI Marketing Podcast. This episode is decoding the Taylor effect, breaking down Taylor Swift's incredible and brilliant marketing strategy. First, discover how to make money with AI. Launch your side hustle fast, no tech skills needed, plan smarter, execute faster, and grow with proven AI tools. You can get your AI shortcuts in the show notes. Introduction: Beyond the music, decoding a marketing paradigm. In the modern digital economy, few brands have achieved the cultural and commercial dominance of Taylor Swift. Her record-breaking album sales, stadium-filling world tours, and unprecedented economic impact is a phenomenon that's now widely termed the Taylor effect. They're testaments to a success that transcends musical talent alone. While the quality of her music and her artistic output is the undeniable foundation of her empire, a deeper analysis reveals that her sustained top of preeminence in music is the product of a very meticulously engineered and brilliantly executed marketing ecosystem. This ecosystem is as much a part of her product as the songs themselves, transforming traditional product launches into global cultural events and casual listeners into a fiercely loyal, evangelistic community. Taylor Swift's not merely an artist, she's a global brand and a business paradigm whose strategies offer a new blueprint for value creation, brand building, and community engagement in the 21st century. Her approach demonstrates a masterful understanding of narrative, psychology, and platform dynamics. It creates a continuous feedback loop of anticipation and reward that keeps her audiences perpetually invested. From turning business crisis into brand-defining triumphs to gamifying the very act of marketing, her playbook redefines the relationship between a brand and its consumers. This report deconstructs this paradigm. It's presented in two parts. Part one is the anatomy of a marketing mastermind, providing a deep dive analysis into the 5 core pillars of the Swift marketing engine. Using her recent album, Campaigns for Midnights, and The Tortured Poets Department as primary case studies, it dissects the mechanics, psychological underpinnings, and strategic frameworks that drive her success. Part 2, the replicable playbook, translates this complex analysis into a practical, step-by-step framework. It's designed for any business from a local retailer to a software startup to adapt and implement these mastermind strategies, proving that the principles of her success are not dependent on a superstar's budget, but on a strategic mindset that can be scaled to any enterprise. This is part 1, Anatomy of a Marketing Mastermind. Chapter 1 is the core product, authenticity as a brand. The entire Swiftian marketing apparatus is built on a single non-negotiable foundation, a core product that's perceived as deeply authentic and relatable. This authenticity is not a passive quality, but an actively crafted and managed brand attribute that serves as the primary engine for all of the subsequent marketing activities. The product is not just what's being sold, it's the central piece of marketing content that fuels the entire ecosystem. You have to craft a relatable narrative. This is the power of personal storytelling. At the heart of the Taylor Swift brand is her songwriting, which consistently chronicles her personal experiences with a level of detail and vulnerability that resonates universally. Her lyrics are often compared to diary entries. They explore themes of love, heartbreak, friendship, personal growth, creating a narrative that her audience can map onto their own lives. This approach fundamentally alters the nature of the product. An album's no longer just a collection of songs. It's the next chapter in a long-running public saga that listeners are emotionally invested in. This strategy transforms a transactional relationship where consumers buy music into a deeply emotional one. Fans are connecting with a story. Now, by openly sharing her personal highs and lows, she fosters a very profound sense of trust and authenticity within her fan base. This connection is the bedrock of her brand loyalty. The marketing campaigns that follow are not simply promoting a product. They're promoting the continuation of a story that fans are already excited to hear about. The quality of this storytelling The indisputable craftsmanship of her music is the essential element that makes the entire structure viable. Without a compelling core product, even the most elaborate marketing would fail. Unlike traditional models where a marketing story is retroactively applied to a finished product, Swift's product is the primary marketing content. The songs themselves generate the speculation, the media coverage, and the fan theories that drive engagement, making the music engine of the marketing machine not just its cargo. The era strategy. This is a framework for brand evolution and reinvention. To maintain relevance and prevent brand stagnation over a nearly 2-decade career, Swift employs a sophisticated brand management strategy known as eras. Each album cycle is treated as a distinct brand identity, complete with its own unique visual aesthetic, narrative themes, color palette, and merchandise lines. For example, the romantic pastels of the Lover era gave way to the monochromatic indie folk aesthetic of Folklore and Evermore, which was then replaced by the 1970s-inspired jewel tones of Midnights and the sepia-toned academic look of the Tortured Poets department. This strategy serves several critical business functions. Number one, constant reinvention. It allows her to continually refresh her brand, keeping it dynamic and preventing audience fatigue. Each new era is an event, creating a fresh wave of anticipation and excitement. Number two is audience expansion. By exploring different musical genres from country to pop to indie folk, each era provides an opportunity to attract new demographic segments without alienating her core base, who have been conditioned to expect and embrace this evolution. And number three is new revenue opportunities. Every era introduces a completely new line of merchandise, a new tour production, new partnership opportunities, effectively creating a new product line for the same core brand. This approach to the product life cycle management and planned renewal strategies is seen in the technology and fashion industries. Each era effectively sunsets the previous one, creating a new must-have collection of experiences and products. This allows a single personal brand to repeatedly launch new sub-brands, each with its own dedicated hype cycle and revenue streams, thereby avoiding the natural decline of a static brand identity. And this leads us into owning the narrative, turning crisis into brand-defining moments. This is the Taylor's version case study. Perhaps the most potent demonstration of Swift's brand management mastery is the Taylor's version project. This initiative, born from a significant business crisis, the 2019 sale of her original master recordings without her consent, was transformed into a powerful brand-defining marketing triumph. Instead of accepting the setback, her team reframed the situation as a fight for artistic ownership and empowerment, a narrative that resonated deeply with her fan base and the broader public. The strategy was executed with meticulous precision. It began with strategic branding. The simple but powerful Taylor's version suffix was added to each re-recorded album title. This branding immediately differentiated the new artist-approved versions from the originals, creating a clear moral and emotional choice for consumers. Swift was transparent and communicative throughout the process. She began to mobilize her fans. She was portraying the re-recordings as a collaborative effort between her and her fans to reclaim her legacy. Her audience responded with immense loyalty, actively choosing to stream and purchase only Taylor's version and effectively devaluing the original assets owned by the investment firm. Then there was the added value. To incentivize the purchase of music that fans already owned, each re-recorded album included from the vault tracks previously unreleased songs written during the era. This in turn turned each release into a new and expanded product, not just a recreation. And then there was the legal fortification. The campaign was supported by a robust intellectual property strategy. Fresh trademark filings were made for the Taylor's version titles, and even for specific lyrics, drawing a clear legal and commercial boundary around the work that she now controlled. The Taylor's version campaign became a movement. It was a real-time lesson in business strategy, ethical branding, and consumer loyalty that solidified her reputation as an advocate for artist rights. It demonstrated a masterful ability to take control of a negative narrative and reshape it into an opportunity to strengthen her brand, deepen her connection with her audience, and create a significant new revenue stream from her back catalog. Chapter 2, the Fandom Ecosystem, building a high-value community. While the core product provides the narrative, the Swiftian marketing model's true power lies in its ability to cultivate one of the most engaged and valuable consumer communities in the world. This isn't a passive audience, but an active, co-creating ecosystem that drives enormous organic reach and brand advocacy. This ecosystem is built on a foundation of carefully engineered intimacy and a deep understanding of the psychology of belonging. From consumers to Swifties, this is the psychology of belonging. The transformation of a casual listener into a self-identified Swiftie is a masterclass in community building. This is achieved by creating a distinct tribal identity forged through shared knowledge, rituals, and language. Swift and her team provide the cultural artifacts that bond the community together, like shared language. Her lyrics aren't just words to songs, they're a lexicon used by fans to describe their own lives, creating an immediate sense of shared understanding. Shared rituals. The fan-driven tradition of making and trading friendship bracelets at the Eras Tour, inspired by a lyric from the song You're on Your Own, Kid, became a global phenomenon. This ritual provides a tangible physical way for fans to connect and identify with each other as part of the same tribe. And third, shared knowledge. The intricate web of Easter eggs and hidden meanings in her work create a hierarchy of knowledge within the fandom. Being in the know and participating in the collective effort to decode these clues fosters a really powerful sense of an insider group. These elements work together to create a powerful sense of belonging that transcends a simple transactional relationship with a brand. Fans actually feel they're part of a global community, a collective with a shared passion and identity, which in turn drives immense loyalty and a willingness to actively participate in the brand's success. This is engineering intimacy, the role of a parasocial relationship in fostering loyalty. A cornerstone of the Swift fandom is the profound parasocial relationship that many fans feel they have with her. A one-sided, media-driven connection where an audience member feels they know a public figure intimately. This isn't an accidental byproduct of her fame, but a foundational marketing strategy that was deliberately architected from the very beginning of her career. In her early years, Swift invested heavily in highly visible, non-scalable acts of intimacy that built a powerful narrative of accessibility and personal connection. It began with secret sessions. For several album cycles, Swift handpicked fans and invited them into her own homes for exclusive, pre-release listening parties where she'd bake cookies and interact with them personally. There was direct social media engagement. She was known for actively lurking on Tumblr and other platforms, personally replying to fans, liking their posts, and making them feel seen and heard on an individual level. And there was Swiftmas. A famous early campaign involved her team identifying dedicated fans online, sending them personalized, hand-wrapped Christmas gifts. While these specific tactics are no longer as prevalent, the foundational story still persists. They established a brand promise of a genuine two-way relationship, making fans feel less like consumers and more like friends. This perceived closeness is a powerful psychological driver of the intense loyalty, protectiveness, and advocacy that characterizes her core fan base. The feeling of being part of her inner circle, even if it's an illusion, was engineered from the start and remains a key asset of her brand. The Flywheel Effect, activating fans as brand evangelists and content co-creators. The culmination of this community building and engineered intimacy is a powerful flywheel effect where the fandom becomes a self-perpetuating, unpaid marketing force. Swift's team has mastered the art of providing the raw materials and prompts, which the community then transforms into a massive volume of user-generated content and organic promotion. This process has evolved from a simple appreciation to active participation in the marketing campaigns themselves. When she drops a cryptic clue, a social media challenge, or a new music video, millions of fans immediately get to work. There's content co-creation. They create and share reaction videos, song analysis, elaborate theory breakdowns on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit. There's organic amplification. It's fan-generated content's often picked up by mainstream media outlets, which report on the fans' theories and reactions as news stories in their own right. This generates enormous earned media value, amplifying the campaign's reach far beyond what could be achieved through paid advertising alone. For example, the announcement of Midnight's led to a 170% increase in social media mentions over the previous period, with 36% of that volume occurring in the week of the album's release. There's also gamified labor. By framing marketing promotions as the interactive game of decoding puzzles and finding clues, Swift effectively motivates millions of people to voluntarily spend countless hours creating and disseminating promotional content. This essentially outsources the most time-consuming and often expensive aspects of a global marketing campaign over to an enthusiastic and highly motivated volunteer workforce. This flywheel, where artist-provided content inspires fan-created content, which in turn generates mainstream media coverage, attracting new fans back into the ecosystem, is the engine of her sustained cultural dominance. Chapter 3. The Engagement Engine, the Science of Anticipation. The Swiftian model excels at capturing and holding audience attention, particularly in the crucial periods between major product launches. This is achieved through a sophisticated engagement engine that leverages core principles of behavioral psychology to create a perpetual state of anticipation and intrigue. This engine transforms marketing from a series of discrete announcements into a continuous interactive experience. Gamification and the curiosity gap. This is how Easter eggs drive sustained engagement. The most famous component of this engine is the strategic use of Easter eggs. Hidden clues, cryptic messages, and subtle references embedded in music videos, social media posts, lyrics, even public appearances. This practice is a masterful application of the curiosity gap theory, a psychological principle which posits that a void between what we know and what we want to know creates a cognitive itch that we are compelled to scratch. By strategically revealing incomplete information, Swift's team creates these gaps, motivating fans to actively seek out the missing pieces. This gamified approach transforms the audience from passive consumers into active detectives, encouraging them to rewatch videos, reread lyrics, collaborate with other fans to solve the puzzle. This process also serves several key functions. First is sustained engagement. It keeps the audience deeply engaged with her entire body of work long before and after a new release, as any past content could hold a clue to the future. Number 2 is community building. The collective effort to decode these puzzles fosters collaboration and discussion, strengthening the bonds within the fan community. Number 3 is immersive world building. This strategy creates an interactive narrative layer over her career, making fans feel like participants in an unfolding story rather than just observers. This has been described as a form of world building or an alternate reality game where the marketing itself becomes an immersive product to be consumed between official releases. Examples of this are really abundant, from the simple capitalized letters in her early album booklets that spelled out secret messages, to the complex multi-platform puzzles like the Google search game that unlocked the 1989 Taylor's version vault track titles. The Scarcity Principle, creating demand through exclusivity and limited editions. Complementing the strategy of intrigue is a deft use of the Scarcity Principle, which states that people place a higher value on things that are perceived as rare or limited. Swift's team employs this tactic to create urgency and drive immediate purchasing decisions, particularly for physical products and merchandise. The primary method is the release of multiple limited edition versions of a single album. For Midnight's 4 different vinyl editions were released, each with unique cover art and color variants. When placed together, the back covers of the 4 LPs formed a functional clock face, turning the collection into a unique piece of merchandise. The strategy achieved 2 goals. Number 1 was increased perceived value. The limited nature of each variant made it a collectible item, elevating its value beyond that of a standard album. Number 2, the collectible, interlocking nature of the set drove most of the fans' dedicated purchases, and they wanted to buy all 4 versions of the same album, which significantly boosted sales figures. This strategy is a direct monetization of the gamified, completist mindset cultivated through the Easter egg hunts. Having trained her audience to find every clue and solve every puzzle, she then provides them with a physical, purchasable way to complete the set. This is further amplified by time merchandise drops on her website, which often feature countdown clocks and while supplies last disclaimers, creating a powerful sense of urgency. Orchestrating FOMO, the art of the eventized launch. The combination of gamification and scarcity is expertly orchestrated to cultivate a powerful sense of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Every component of a product launch, from the initial announcement to the final music video release, is framed as a can't-miss, real-time cultural event. The Midnight's Mayhem with Me series on TikTok is a prime example. For 13 nights leading up to the album's release, Swift would randomly draw a numbered bingo ball at midnight and announce the corresponding track title. This turned a simple track list reveal, something typically done in a single press release, into a 2-week-long interactive event. Fans felt compelled to tune in each night to be part of the collective discovery and the immediate online conversation. To miss it was to be left out of the loop. This event-izing strategy ensures that fans aren't just consuming content, but they're participating in a shared communal experience. This transforms the act of marketing into a source of entertainment and social connection in its own right. The fear is not just of missing out on a product, but of missing out on the collective moment, the inside jokes, and the shared excitement of the community, which is far more powerful motivator for engagement. Chapter 4. The launch architecture. This is a multi-phase blueprint. A Taylor Swift album launch is not just a single event, but a meticulously choreographed multi-phase campaign designed to build momentum, dominate the cultural conversation, and maximize commercial impact. While the specific tactics evolve with each era, the underlying 4-phase architecture remains remarkably consistent. An analysis of the rollouts for Midnight's and the Tortured Poets department reveals a sophisticated blueprint for orchestrating a global product launch. This is phase 1, the Whisper campaign pre-announcement. This initial phase involves the subtle, long-term seeding of clues that often go unnoticed in the moment, but become clear in hindsight. These whispers are designed to reward the most dedicated fans and create a sense of masterful planning once the official announcement is made. For TTPD, this phase was particularly elaborate. Months before the announcement, Swift's public appearances and social media activity adopted a stark black and white aesthetic. Fans conditioned by her era strategy widely interpreted this as a signal for the impending release of Reputation, Taylor's version, an album defined by a similar color scheme. This proved to be a masterful trick, a deliberate misleading clue that heightened the shock of the actual announcement. Other subtle clues included her website displaying a cryptic Error 321 message, which fans later connected to the album's acronym, and coded language in public statements. This phase primes the audience for an announcement, building a low-level buzz of speculation without revealing the true nature of the project. Phase 2 is the Shockwave, the announcement. The official announcement's designed for maximum impact and earned media saturation. Instead of a standard press release, Swift strategically hijacks a moment of peak cultural attention to unveil her project. This tactic guarantees immediate, widespread, and free media coverage. Midnight's was announced during her acceptance speech for Video of the Year at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards, instantly making it the biggest story of the night. Similarly, the Tortured Poets Department was announced on stage at the 2024 Grammy Awards while accepting the award for Best Vocal Pop Album. This Shockwave approach ensures that the album is not just music news, but global entertainment news, instantly catapulting it into the mainstream conversation. Phase 3, the Crescendo, pre-release hype. Following the announcement, an intensive 6 to 8 week pre-release campaign begins, designed to build a crescendo of anticipation. This phase is characterized by a steady, controlled drip of information and a variety of engagement tactics across multiple platforms. Key tactics observed during Midnight's and TTPD rollouts include things like the episodic content. The Midnight's Mayhem with Me TikTok series served as appointment viewing, revealing one track title per episode and sustaining daily buzz for 2 weeks. There was strategic information drips. Collaborations are announced strategically to create fresh news cycles, such as the reveal of Lana Del Rey's feature on Midnight's. For TTPD, curated playlists were released on Apple Music with daily puzzles hidden in the song lyrics that slowly revealed a secret message. There's also global activations. Lyrics from Midnight's were teased on Spotify-sponsored billboards in major cities around the world, creating a global scavenger hunt. There's experiential marketing. For TTPD, Spotify hosted a physical open-air poetry library pop-up in Los Angeles. The exhibit was filled with symbolic objects and clues related to the album's themes and was updated daily to encourage repeat visits and sustain social media coverage. This phase ensures the album remains top of mind for weeks, building momentum through a diverse mix of digital, physical, and media-driven activities. And then phase 4, the spectacle, launch day and beyond. The launch itself is a multi-layered event designed to dominate the 24-hour news cycle and shatter streaming records. A key element of this phase is the surprise and delight tactic of a second unexpected release. At 3 a.m. on the night of its release, a deluxe version of Midnight's titled the 3 a.m. edition appeared on streaming services with 7 bonus tracks. The strategy was repeated and amplified for TTPD when at 2 a.m. a surprise double album, The Tortured Poets Department, The Anthology, was released, adding an additional 15 songs to the original 16. It's this double drop strategy that's a stroke of marketing genius for several reasons. It creates a second massive wave of social media buzz and news coverage just hours after the initial release. It rewards the most dedicated fans who are listening at midnight, making them feel like insiders. It immediately drives up streaming numbers and encourages repeat listening of the entire, now expanded project. The launch is also accompanied by the immediate release of a lead music video and a corresponding social media challenge. This is what drives immediate virality and fan participation. A pre-published calendar of post-launch activities, such as subsequent music video releases and TV appearances, also ensure that the promotional momentum is sustained for days and weeks after the initial drop. Chapter 5, the Amplifier Network. This is strategic alliances and platform mastery. The final pillar of the Swiftian marketing model is the strategic use of partnerships and media platforms to amplify her message, extend her reach, and reinforce her brand values. These aren't just simple endorsements, but deeply integrated collaborations that become essential components of the fan experience. This network is managed through a sophisticated, integrated approach to paid, earned, shared, and owned media. Synergistic partnerships, extending reach, and reinforcing brand values. Swift's approach to brand partnerships is defined by long-term mutually beneficial relationships where the partner is woven into the fabric of the product ecosystem. The key to these collaborations is her insistence on maintaining creative control, ensuring that all partner-driven content aligns perfectly with her core brand narrative and the aesthetic of the current era. Many case studies of her key partnerships have revealed this in action. For example, Target. This long-standing retail partnership has been crucial for Swift's dominance in physical music sales. Target serves as the exclusive brick-and-mortar retailer for special editions of her album, often containing unique bonus tracks or alternative artwork. This collaboration leverages Target's vast retail footprint to reach a broad consumer demographic while reinforcing the collectability of her music. For Target, the exclusivity drives significant foot traffic and sales from a highly motivated consumer base. There's streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music. After a famously contentious early relationship with streaming services over artist compensation, Swift's evolved to become one of their most powerful collaborators. She now leverages their global reach for exclusive promotional activities. This includes the global billboard campaign with Spotify for Midnights, the library pop-up for TTPD, and the curated playlists and lyric puzzles on Apple Music. These partnerships provide the platforms with unique, high-engagement content while giving Swift access to their massive built-in user bases. And then there's Capital One. This partnership represents a more mature brand alignment, pairing Swift with a premium financial services company. The collaboration is deeply integrated with Capital One, offering its cardholders tangible, high-value benefits like exclusive presale access to her highly sought-after concert tickets. This is a powerful value exchange. Capital One gains a highly effective channel for customer acquisition. Card signups actually reportedly at a 22% higher retention rate. And Swift provides a genuine benefit to her fans, making the partnership feel less like a sponsorship and more like a fan-centric service. The success of these partnerships reveals a deep dynamic at play. Her brand carries such immense cultural capital, it can be transferred to adjacent industries, creating new markets for her partners. This Taylor effect was most visibly demonstrated with the NFL. Her appearances at games to support Travis Kelce led to significant surge in viewership and merchandise sales among young women, a demographic that the NFL has long struggled to attract. A partnership with Taylor Swift is not just a brand exposure opportunity, it's a market creation opportunity. This is dominating the media landscape, an integrated PESO model approach. Swift's entire marketing strategy can be understood through the lens of the PESO, Paid, Earned, Shared, Owned model, a framework for integrating different aspects of marketing communications. Her team executes a masterclass in balancing and synergizing these four elements. Paid media. This is used sparingly, but with high strategic value. It includes placements like the Midnight's trailer, shown during an NFL game on Amazon Prime, which was designed to reach a new, broader audience. The partnerships with brands like Capital One also fall under this category, but they're structured to generate value far beyond simple ad impressions. There's earned media. This is where the Swift machine truly excels. It's a primary output of her Shockwave announcements and compelling media-friendly narratives like the Taylor's version fight for her masters. These strategies are designed to be irresistible to news outlets, generating millions of dollars in free organic media coverage and dominating the cultural conversation. Third is shared media. This is the domain of the fandom. It's fueled by the engagement engine of Easter eggs, social media challenges, and user-generated content. Her social media channels become hubs for fan activity, and the virality of their content spreads her message organically across platforms. And then you have owned media. This includes her official website, mailing list, social media profiles. These channels are used for direct-to-fan communication, where she can control the narrative without media filtration. They're also powerful sales channels for high-margin products like merchandise, allowing her to capture the full value of a customer relationship. It's the genius of the Swiftian model that these four elements work in a continuous, self-reinforcing loop. Owned media is used to drop a clue, which fuels shared media as fans create content, which generates earned media as news outlets report on the phenomenon, which is then amplified by the strategic paid media to reach new audiences who who are then driven back to her own media channels to join the community, beginning the cycle again. Part 2, the replicable playbook, applying the Swift method to your business. The principles that power the global brand are not exclusive to superstars with 9-figure marketing budgets. At their core, these strategies are about a deep customer understanding, authentic storytelling, and meticulous planning. They can be scaled and adapted to fit the resource constraints of any small or medium-sized businesses. This playbook translates the 5 pillars of the Swiftian model into an actionable step-by-step framework for business growth. Step 1, you need to define your core narrative, establishing your business's version. Before you can build a community, you need to have a compelling story for them to rally around. This is your brand's authentic core. Identifying your authentic story. Every business has a why. This is the foundation of your brand's narrative. Instead of focusing solely on what you sell, communicate why you sell it. This could be the founder's personal journey, a mission to solve a specific customer problem, or a commitment to a core set of values. Number 1 is actionable tactic. Dedicate a prominent our story or about us section on your website. Don't list facts. Tell a story. Share the challenges you faced, the passion that drives you, and the vision you have for your customers. There's also local bookstores, for example. The owner's story of wanting to create a community hub for fellow book lovers in a neighborhood that lacked one. The store's mission is not just to sell books, but to foster connection and discovery. There's software apps. The developer's story of experiencing a frustrating workflow and building the app they wished they had. The brand narrative is about empowerment and solving a real-world pain point. Then, you craft your era strategy. Treat your business's evolution with the same intentionality as the Swiftian era. This means planning your product's launches, seasonal campaigns, or major updates as distinct chapters in your brand's story, each with its own theme, messaging, and visual identity. Here's an actionable tactic. Create a 12-month marketing calendar. Instead of a random series of promotions, group them into quarterly eras or seasons. For example, a spring refresh era could have a consistent visual theme and messaging across your website, social media, and email for 3 months. Here's an example using freelance consultants. A quarter 1 productivity power-up era could be focused on efficiency services, followed by a quarter 2 creative breakthrough era focused on brainstorming and innovation workshops. Each would have its own color scheme, blog content theme, and a webinar series. Then you prepare a narrative-driven crisis plan. Setbacks are inevitable. A negative review, a product flaw, supply chain issues, they can damage a brand. A Swiftian approach using... What I meant to say is that a Swiftian approach uses these moments to demonstrate transparency and reinforce values, turning a potential crisis into a trust-building opportunity. Here's your actionable tactic. Draft a simple crisis communication template. The key elements should be acknowledging the issue quickly and transparently, explaining the steps you're taking to fix it, communicating what you've learned and how you'll prevent it from happening again, owning your mistakes. I'll use e-commerce stores as an example. A product arrives damaged for several customers. Instead of just issuing refunds, the store posts a public statement on social media, apologizing, explaining they identified a flaw in their packaging, and showcasing the new, more robust packaging that they're now using. This shows accountability and a commitment to quality. Step 2, you're going to cultivate your superfans, building a community, not just a customer list. Your most valuable marketing asset is your most loyal customers. The goal is to transform them from passive buyers into active brand advocates. This is how you engineer personalization at scale. Making customers feel seen and valued is the first step towards building loyalty. This doesn't take complex technology, but it requires attentiveness. Use your email marketing software to create simple automations. Send a personalized welcome email to new subscribers that tell them your brand story. Set up an automated email to celebrate a customer's 1-year anniversary of their first purchase with a small discount code. With a local bookstore, it would look kind of like this. You would train your staff to repeat customers and their reading preferences. A simple, "We just got in this new thriller I think you'd love," creates a really powerful personal connection. Or if we're talking about apps, when a user submits a feature request, even if you can't build it, send a personal reply thanking them for the idea and explaining your current development priorities. This shows you're listening. Then you're going to create the insider status. Reward your most loyal customers with exclusivity. This fosters a sense of belonging and makes them feel like valued members of an inner circle. Create a VIP email list or a private Facebook group for your top customers. Use this channel to give them early access to new products, exclusive discounts, behind-the-scenes contents before it's publicly shared. If you had a coffee shop, you'd offer them a secret menu item that's only communicated through email to the subscribers or members of a loyalty program. If you had an app, you'd invite a select group of power users to do beta testing for new features, giving them a chance to shape the product's future. And then you'll systematize user-generated content. Encourage your customers to become your marketers by giving them the tools and motivation to share your brand. Design one element of your customer experience to be inherently shareable. This could be unique, Instagrammable packaging, a funny phrase on a coffee cup, or a beautifully designed thank you card included with every order. In a bookstore, you'd create a cozy, well-lit reading nook, for example, somewhere in the store with a sign that encourages customers to take and share a bookstore shelfie. Regularly reshare the best customer photos on your own social media channels. This saves you a ton of time when your users are the ones creating the content for you. If you had a productivity app, create a feature that allows users to easily export and share a beautiful summary of their weekly accomplishments, pre-populated with the app's branding and even relevant hashtags. And then step 3, you engineer engagement. This is your Easter egg toolkit. Using the principles of gamification, scarcity, and anticipation to keep your audience engaged and create excitement around your offers, this is where you're going to make everything fun and interactive. First, you can do low-budget gamification. You don't need a complex app to gamify your marketing. The goal is to create small, delightful puzzles that reward attention. Here's an actionable tactic you could use. Hide a small secret discount code somewhere on your website, maybe in the middle of a blog post or on the FAQ page, and drop a clue about its location in your email newsletter. This rewards your most engaged subscribers. A local bookstore might have a monthly newsletter, and they might include a literary crossword puzzle. The solution to the puzzle is a code for 10% off their next purchase. Or a software app might create a hidden Easter egg feature in the app, a fun animation or a secret theme that's unlocked by performing a specific, non-obvious sequence of actions. Drop hints about it on social media. And then start applying scarcity and exclusivity. Create a sense of urgency and increase the perceived value of your products or services by making them limited. One actionable tactic you might use might be, instead of open-ended sales, run flash sales that only last for 24 or 48 hours. Offer a limited edition product or a seasonal service that'll only be available for a short time. Bakeries do this really well when they offer the special flavor of the month cupcake that's only available for a few weeks. Announce you're only making a limited number each day to create even more demand. Or if you're a consultant, you might open up only 5 strategy session slots per month and announce when they're open for booking, emphasizing they're going to fill up quickly. This allows you to build a hype cycle. Instead of a single flat announcement, you can drip out information in stages to build anticipation for a new launch. One actionable tactic you can use is to follow a simple 4-stage model for any new product or service announcement. Step 1, tease it with a vague social media post like something new is brewing. Step 2, reveal a clue. A close-up photo of a new product's texture or a single keyword about a new service. Step 3, countdown. A series of posts counting down the days until that full reveal. And step 4, you launch it. The official announcement with a clear call to action. At a clothing boutique, for example, this might look like step 1, our summer collection's coming soon. Step 2, a picture of a fabric swatch. Step 3, a 3-day countdown on Instagram stories, followed by step 4, the full collection goes live on the website. This leads us into step 4, architecting your launch, the scalable Swiftian blueprint. Use the 4-phase launch architecture to structure your marketing campaigns for maximum impact, even with a limited budget. The key is planning and coordination, not spending. And then step 5, you can build your amplifier network. This is where you forge those strategic alliances. You don't have to build your audience alone. Strategic partnerships can amplify your reach and add credibility to your brand, even on a small scale. Start by identifying potential partners. Look for complementary, non-competing businesses or creators who share your target audience and values. An actionable tactic might be to make a list of 10 local businesses, micro-influencers, maybe creators with 1,000 to 10,000 followers, or community organizations that your ideal customer also loves. If you looked at this in terms of a yoga studio, potential partners might include a local health food cafe, an athletic wear boutique, or a wellness blogger in the same city. If we were looking at B2B software, potential partners could be consultants who advise your target customers or developers of non-competing software that could integrate with your product. And then you structure mutually beneficial collaborations. Approach these partners with a clear win-win proposal. The best small business partnerships require little to no budget, focusing instead on an exchange of value. Your actionable tactic is to propose a simple, low-effort collaboration. Ideas include things like a joint giveaway on Instagram where you both contribute a prize and require participants to follow both accounts. It could be a content swap where you write a guest blog post for their website and they do the same for yours. It could be co-hosting a free webinar or an in-person workshop for your collective audiences. If you looked at this in terms of a local bookstore and a coffee shop, the bookstore offers a 10% discount to anyone who shows a receipt from the coffee shop. The coffee shop does the same. They promote each other's offers in-store and online. And then you can execute an integrated push. When you launch a product or run a campaign with a partner, coordinate your efforts to maximize reach using the PESO model on a small scale. Your actionable tactic for this is to create a simple one-page plan for your joint campaign. If you're using owned media, you both agree to send 2 dedicated emails to your lists and post 5 times on social media about the collaboration. Shared media, you'd create a unique hashtag for the campaign and encourage your audiences to use it. Earned media, you might write a short press release about your unique local partnership and send it to local bloggers and news outlets. And then on paid media, if you have a small budget, you can pool $50 each to boost your top performing social media post to a targeted local audience. By implementing these scalable strategies, any business can begin to build the kind of deep customer connection, sustained engagement, and brand loyalty that defines the Taylor Swift marketing paradigm. The last part of this I want to talk to you about is the Mastermind's mindset. The marketing success of Taylor Swift is not the result of a single tactic or a massive budget, but it's of a holistic and deeply ingrained strategic mindset. Deconstructing her methods reveal a set of core principles that are universally applicable and serve as a powerful guide for any business aiming to build a resilient, beloved, and profitable brand. The Swiftian Playbook is ultimately powered by 4 key principles. Number 1 is to be customer obsessed. At the heart of every decision is a profound understanding of and respect for the audience. Swift studies her fans intensely, listens to their desires, and designs every product, message, and experience with their perspective in mind. For any business, this translates to prioritizing customer feedback, personalizing communication, and consistently seeking to understand the people you serve, not just the data points they represent. Number 2 is to be a storyteller. Products are transactional, stories are transformational. Swift doesn't just sell music, she invites her audience into a continuous, evolving narrative. Every business has a story, its origins, its value, its mission. Weaving this narrative authentically through every touch point, from your website to your packaging, creates an emotional resonance that builds connections far stronger than a simple customer-vendor relationship. Third is to be meticulous. The perception of effortless genius is the result of painstaking, intentional planning. From the timing of an announcement to the color of a vinyl record, no detail is left to chance. This meticulous approach to the customer journey, orchestrating each step from awareness to advocacy with precision, makes sure that a cohesive and impactful brand experience comes to Swifties. It's commitment to excellence and execution. And fourth is to be the community. The most powerful brands don't just sell to a community, they are the community. They create a space for belonging where customers feel like valued members, not just consumers. By fostering connection, celebrating user-generated content, and creating shared rituals, a business can transform its customer base into a tribe of loyal advocates who are personally invested in the brand's success. Ultimately, the strategies detailed in this framework are not a rigid formula to be copied, but it's a flexible framework for thinking differently about marketing. It's a shift from broadcasting to engaging, from transacting to connecting, and from building a customer base to cultivating a true fan base. By adopting this mastermind's mindset, any business can harness these principles to build a brand that not only thrives commercially, but also earns a meaningful and enduring place in the lives of its customers. Now, if you would like to discover how to make money with AI, how to grow your own business, launch your side hustle fast, it requires no tech skills. If you want to plan smarter, execute faster, and grow with proven AI tools, make sure to head to our website and get your free framework only from Digit AI Marketing. Get your free AI shortcuts in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.